Five-pin bowling, a distinct and engaging variation of the sport, holds a special place in the hearts of Canadians. Unlike its 10-pin cousin, which enjoys widespread international recognition, five-pin bowling is predominantly played within Canada's borders. Its unique rules, equipment, and strategic nuances offer a different kind of bowling experience, one that emphasizes precision and strategy over brute force. In this video, we will explore the history, rules, equipment, strategy, and enduring popularity of this quintessential Canadian pastime. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll never miss out on our captivating Canadian content. Bowling isn't new. The game is estimated to be over 7,000 years old. In fact, Sir Flinders Petrie, a professor of Egyptology at the University of London, found a complete set of bowling balls and pins dating back to 5,200 BC in a large tomb in Egypt. The genesis of five-pin bowling can be traced back to a Toronto bowling club in 1909, owned by Thomas Francis Ryan. Ryan was born in Guelph, Ontario in 1872. He moved to Toronto when he was 18 and originally aimed for a future in baseball. He is said to have been a good baseball pitcher, good enough for a professional offer. Tommy was a businessman, sports promoter, art lover, and a practical joker. 10-pin bowling came to Canada around 1840 and was played in saloons and hotels. It was basically a pursuit of cigar-smoking men wanting to imbibe and wager a bit of money. There were actually two clubs catering to bowling for men in Toronto, the Athenaeum Club and the Liederkranz German Club, but a group of the more competitive bowlers became dissatisfied with the conditions. There was a 12-team city league in Toronto, and at that time playing on lanes less than 50 feet in length. These men would play challenge matches against teams from Buffalo, New York City, Detroit, and Chicago, who played on 60-foot lanes under newly established ABC rules, placing the Toronto men at a great disadvantage. In 1905, Tommy Ryan owned a billiard hall at 106 Yonge Street with his partner John White. Ryan was involved in competitive 10-pin bowling and decided to build Canada's first regulation 10-pin lanes. During that summer, Ryan pursued a location that would accommodate 60-foot American-style alleys. A spot was found in downtown Toronto, the Bousseau Building at the south corner of Yonge and Temperance and over top of Ryrie Burke's Jewelers. 11 bowling lanes were installed, and on Monday, October 16, 1905, the first bowlers' meeting was held at the new Toronto Bowling Club. Ryan insisted that his establishment be a very elite and private club, catering only to the well-to-do of Toronto society. It resembled a southern plantation with potted palm trees, ceiling fans, string orchestra, piano, and an immense lunch counter. It became the lunchtime home to many of Toronto's influential businessmen who bowled a game over the lunch hour and then bowled leagues in the evening. John Craig Eaton of Eaton's department store and some of his employees bowled, along with Alderman Sam McBride, later to become the mayor of Toronto in 1928. Complaints emerged that the heavy ball was causing arm strain among Tommy Ryan's genteel clientele, and that the 10-pin game took too long to complete over a lunch hour. By 1909, these complaints inspired Ryan to reevaluate the game. He brought some pins to his father, who whittled them down by 75%, and constructed a smaller hard rubber ball weighing around 2.5 pounds. The 10-pin balls weighed between 6 and 16 pounds. This ball had no holes and could be held within the palm of one's hand. He then changed the rules of the game in order to better accommodate the number of pins used. The initial configuration of the 5 pins on the lane mirrored the central 5 pins on a 10-pin setup, forming a diamond shape. The scoring system, however, was quite different from the modern version. The original pin count is established as 4, 2, 1, 3, 5, and a unique rule existed where a bowler had to knock down the left corner pin, number 4, to register any score in that frame. This added an element of strategic targeting from the outset. The popularity of this new game spread quickly within the Toronto Bowling Club and soon attracted interest from other establishments. In 1910, just a year after its invention, the first 5-pin bowling league was formed in Ryan's Club, marking the formal beginning of organized 5-pin bowling. The game's appeal lay in its accessibility. The lighter ball made it suitable for a wider range of individuals, including women and older adults who may have found 10-pin bowling a little too challenging. In 1912, a significant innovation was introduced, the rubber band around the belly of the pins. This seemingly simple addition served 2 crucial purposes. Firstly, it increased the resilience of the pins, reducing breakage upon impact with the harder rubber ball. Secondly, it dampened the noise created when the lighter pins were struck, addressing another early concern. Tommy Ryan sold the Toronto Bowling Club in 1913 to Jacob Saunders when he could not renew his lease. It was renamed Saunders Bowling Academy. Ryan opened a new Toronto Bowling Club in September of 1915 in the Bond Building on Temperance Street. The end of the First World War in 1918 brought the first boom to the game. Over 500 new lanes were built in Toronto over the next 6 years. By 1921, though, Tommy Ryan had moved on to managing the family furniture business after owning a hotel business whose operation was rendered unprofitable by Prohibition in the 1920s. 1921 also introduced the First Ladies 5-Pin Bowling League, started by Marion Dibble in Toronto, Ontario. The spread of 5-pin bowling beyond Toronto was relatively swift. By 1923, Charles Gibson of Winnipeg introduced the game to Western Canada, establishing its presence across the country. As the game gained traction in different regions, variations in scoring and even pin values emerged. The need for a unified set of rules and regulations became apparent as the sport grew. In 1927, a pivotal moment occurred with the formation of the Canadian Bowling Association. This marked the first national governing body for 5-pin bowling, and T.J. Simpson was elected as its first president. In 1928, the first official 5-pin rulebook was printed, providing a consistent framework for gameplay. Initially, the pins in 5-pin bowling were counted from left to right in a particular fashion. For example, the leftmost pin amounted to 4, the next pin was 2, the central pin was 1, the right pin was 3, and the rightmost pin was counted as 5. The mid-20th century witnessed further evolution in the scoring system. In 1952, Charlie Hill, then president of the CBA, proposed the 2-3-5-3-2 scoring system that is familiar today. This system, assigning different point values to each pin based on its position, was gradually adopted across Canada, starting in the West in 1952, followed by Ontario in 1953, and the rest of the country by 1959. This standardization of scoring was a significant step towards national unity within the sport. Here is a simple way to understand how scoring works in 5-pin bowling. Imagine you're up to bowl. You have 10 turns or frames in a game. In each turn, you get up to 3 tries to roll the small hand-sized ball down the lane and hit the 5 pins. These pins aren't all worth the same. The one in the middle front is worth 5 points, the two beside it are worth 3 points each, and the two corner pins at the back are worth 2 points each. If you were to knock them all down, that is a total of 15 points. For the most part, scoring is straightforward. Your score for a turn is simply the total value of the pins you managed to knock down after your 3 rolls. So, if you hit the 5-point pin and one of the 2-point pins, you get 7 points for that turn. The main goal in each turn is to try and knock down all 5 pins. If you do manage to knock all of them down, you always score 15 points for that turn, whether it took you 1, 2, or all 3 balls. Now here's where you get a little extra boost if you're skilled or lucky enough to knock down all 5 pins with your very first ball, that's called a strike, or with your second ball, that's called a spare. You get a bonus. You still get the 15 points for clearing the pins in that turn, but you also get extra points added later based on the pins you hit with your next roll or two in the following turn. It's like a reward for clearing the pins so efficiently. So you play through your 10 turns, adding up the points you get in each frame, remembering that sometimes you get these bonus points added on from previous strikes or spares. The person with the highest total score at the end of the 10 turns wins the game. A perfect game of all strikes equals 450 points. Technological advancements also play a role in the history of 5-pin bowling. The introduction of the automatic pin setting machines in 1957 revolutionized the game, eliminating the need for pin boys and increasing the pace of play. The subsequent development of automatic string pin setters in 1963 further streamlined operations and reduced mechanical expenses. The equipment itself continued to evolve. Early pins were made of plastic-coated maple. Today, pins are typically constructed from hard plastic and often feature UV glow capabilities for glow-in-the-dark bowling. The distinctive clack sound of a 5-pin being hit is a characteristic auditory element of the game. Bowling balls also saw a change, with the Canadian 5-Pin Bowlers Association formed in 1978 through the amalgamation of various governing bodies, sanctioning the use of personalized bowling balls in 1990, moving away from the exclusive use of house balls. And of course, who can forget those colorful rental shoes that you get at the bowling alley counter? They are a key piece of equipment with a specific purpose. The smooth wooden area where you walk up and slide before releasing the ball is carefully maintained. Street shoes track in dirt, grit, moisture, and debris from outside. This dirt can damage the delicate finish of the approach, making it uneven, sticky, scratched, or gouged. Bowling technique involves a slide on the final step before releasing the ball, and these shoes have a sole made of a smooth material like leather or a synthetic substitute. This allows the bowler to slide smoothly on the approach. The legacy of Thomas F. Ryan, the visionary behind 5-pin bowling, was formally recognized in 1971 with his posthumous induction to Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. Tommy Ryan neglected to patent his invention and saw no financial gain from it, except in his own bowling alley. Ryan died in Toronto at age 89 and is buried at the Mount Hope Catholic Cemetery in Toronto. Throughout its history, 5-pin bowling has remained deeply rooted in Canadian culture. It remains a popular recreational activity across the country, enjoyed by people of all ages and skill levels. It's a significant part of Special Olympics Canada, being the most popular sport among its athletes. This inclusivity underscores the game's ability to bring people together through friendly competition and shared enjoyment. While attempts were made in the late 1950s to introduce five-pin bowling to international markets like the British West Indies and Scotland, it largely remained a Canadian phenomenon. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, there are a few things you can do to support our channel. Give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and leave a comment. Please consider giving us a super thanks on YouTube or buy us a coffee so we can continue bringing you interesting Canadian content. Let us know if there's a Canadian story you'd like us to cover, like this one, in a future episode. For more videos about Canada, please subscribe and ring the bell icon to be notified of our next video upload.